Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. This is Allie, Tarot 108, coming at you with another reading today. And if you've clicked on the video, you know what it's about today, you know who it's about, and it's a little bit different than typical celebrities or politicians or that kind of stuff, which I've been reading on recently. Yeah, so Greta Thunberg, Greta Thunberg, the young Swedish, originally climate activist. You know, how dare you? Back in 2018, she went to the UN Parliament and told all the boomers and all the older people that, you know, your generation is ruining the world basically for all younger people, and the world just, you know, she took the world by storm. People called her like the darling of the climate change movement, etc. But there's been some news coming out about her this past couple weeks, especially regarding her like mission with Israel, Gaza, um, that whole thing going on in the Middle East with the conflicts and wars, well, the war going on between Israel and Palestine, and all the attacks and like just like horrible mess going on over there. So just a couple weeks ago, she was deported from Israel back to Sweden. She was on a boat going over to Gaza to provide aid and etc. Like just to try to provide aid, I suppose, but and also to bring awareness to what's going on there. I believe that was part of her mission. But with that, it was said that like, okay, they're calling this ship actually like an influencer, like a selfie ship, influencer ship, because they say it was many people on there who were, there wasn't really actually a lot of aid being brought. There weren't actually a lot of aid items being brought. It was just kind of more like a solidarity thing, as I understand. Influencers or media personalities going on that boat to Gaza to try to bring awareness and support to the Palestinian people. Yeah, and then she was deported, and then she was also seen with some guy. And after looking it up, I've seen his name is Chris. Um, yeah, so they're rumored to be in a relationship. So it's rumored she's in a relationship now. She's born in 2003, and she's a Capricorn. I believe it's January 3rd or January 5th she's born in, but she's a Capricorn, born in 2003. So she's like what? She is, let's see, we're in 2025. So she is, I suppose, what, 22 years old now? So yeah, she has a long future ahead of her. She's already done so much. Most of what she's already done in the public eye was already done even before she finished high school. But of course, she is still active. She's still an activist, and she's still a person in the world that I believe, strongly believe, and with my psychic eye, I feel she's going to do much bigger things in her life than she's already done as well. But let's see what the cards can tell us today. So, yeah, guys, if you like my little spiel, my little intro, I will just tell you now about myself. My name is Ali. I'm a tarot reader, psychic, medium, and Canadian, actually, living abroad. But basically, my channel is all about tarot and psychic insights, and mostly I'm focusing on reading on celebrities, world situations, politics, politicians, celebrity relationships, politician relationships. I did Trump and Melania's relationship, and I've done a few other celebrity relationships. But yeah, guys, I do want to say before we get into the reading, please always remember to like, Share the video, comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because love having you guys around. And by the way, I do want to say that I always appreciate and love in the comments when people give me suggestions. I am trying to get to do the suggestions of readings, especially if people mention it more than once, more than one person mentions it. So yeah, what we do with the readings is past, present, future most of the time. So today we are going to do past, present, future for Greta Thunberg. The first line is the past, the second line is the present, and the third line is the future. As well, I do try to look into the past life of the person or people involved. So today we will be looking at Greta's past life. And then we're going to take a few oracles for each line and tarot cards as well. So yeah, let's see now what's going on. Okay, somebody jumped out here, so I feel it's this first one. So we're asking now Greta Thunberg's past life. Who was she in her past life? And how is it that she came to be such a prominent figure at such a young age? Also, she was born into a family which were certainly not poor. Both of her parents are semi-influential figures. They're both very successful people, and her uncle, I believe it is, or it's either her uncle or her grandfather, who is a famous Swedish film director. So she's certainly not from a very simple family. And we know also that she has publicly announced that she's on the spectrum, autism spectrum, Asperger's disorder, as well as a few other things. But basically, why I'm mentioning all this is because we know that people who who are born into wealthy families or become famous or have that kind of life, it's said that they have these past life karmic credits that have led them to that point and to that place of, gaining that notoriety and everything. So let's see who she was in her past life, or what prominent things are coming up in her past life karma to lead her to take birth in this life, in this family, with all these things going on around her, especially from a young age. So it says here, oh, okay, romance. Oh, I get a bit of a Romeo and Juliet vibe from this. You see it says star-crossed love. It's like some kind of love that she couldn't be with or couldn't have, some kind of true love. So it's a thing like love of convenience, unrequited love, star-crossed love. But I get this feeling in this card that it's like, it's not necessarily such a big message about she had a love in her past life. It's more like, I feel like she loved something, or she had, oh my gosh, look at this, cult faith. Cult faith. So I feel like it could have been in her past life that she was involved in some things as well, where it's like she had this, how to say it, like, could be like unhealthy obsession, or like something to do with some kind of unorthodox views as well, with that cult energy. Interesting. Passive conformity comes up here as well. So it's like, I feel like in her past life, she could have been a person who she didn't grab what she needed to, she knew what she wanted, but she was passive about it. She didn't grab that thing by the horns, she didn't grab life by the horns. She wasn't forceful enough toward the things that she wanted. And part of it was love. I feel like she could have lost her love. I get the feeling like, you see this male figure here, I actually feel like this is her in her past life with the flowers. Like, I didn't go toward my love, and I didn't grab what I wanted in my past life. So it's like, in this life, I'm not going to stop at anything that stops me. That I'm not going to let anything stop me from going toward what I want, from being fully open, you can say, and just barging toward the things that I care about and not letting anything stop me. So I feel like that whole thing is actually why she could have been born also into this quite well-to-do family. But also, we know that she's a big protester of oil, and of climate change, of course. But I get this feeling like there's something around oil from her past life, like someone hurt her or someone there was something bad about oil mining industry or something like in her past life. Someone from there, oh, that person that she maybe wanted to marry, maybe married some kind of oil tycoon or someone who was in that negative stance. So it's kind of like those people responsible for all that climate change stuff that we see in modern days. I feel like in her past life, which I feel like this prominent past life was like 1950s or earlier, when she was a man in this body. And I feel actually like she could have been in North America, maybe American actually. And like his love was taken away. The woman that he loved was taken away and married someone else, potentially richer person. So, I mean, I don't want to say it's coming from jealousy. We're going to see what it means for her, the whole climate change thing coming up in a minute with the oracles and with the tarot. But yeah, I do feel like from the past life, there would have been some jealousy. Like, I hate those tycoons, those exploiters, those rich, um, like killers of the earth who take away my love. I also get this energy right now and message about like indigenous populations. Like there could have been some connection with that in a past life. Like she could have seen in her male form in her past life the exploitation of indigenous peoples, or she could have had some connection with indigenous peoples as well in her past life. And having, it could have been like mixed race or just generally some kind of connection with that, and also that whole energy of like those exploiters of the earth, of native lands, taking away my actual love, like my romantic love as well. So there is that energy coming up, kind of interesting. Yeah. So let's see what comes up now for the past of Greta. So we're looking at now this life and the past of this life. What's going on with the past of this life? What do we need to know? So when we look at the past, we're looking at the whole of her life, like before this present moment or before the very recent past. So we're asking the cards, what do we need to know about her past life? We also want to ask, what is her motivation for all the activism and stuff that she does? Because she got into it at a very young age. So what is going on in her heart, in her mind, regarding this kind of activism stuff as well? So let's see what comes up. Interesting. Detachment. It says, with detachment, you finally feel whole inside, with or without the fulfillment of a particular desire. Ironically, that's often when it's fulfilled. That's really interesting because you would think the card would come up as attachment, you know, attachment to these ideals, attachment to these, you know, activism ideas. But it says, with detachment, you finally feel whole inside, with or without the fulfillment of a particular desire. Okay. So I want to say that with this, I feel like the message is about, you see this kind of building here? It kind of reminds me of like a parliament building. And I get this message like, it's about detachment of really like caring what people think, caring about having a certain image, about being a good girl. I feel this thing for her, it's like this big rebel energy, you know? Like detaching myself from being that quiet girl or that quiet person that people like seemingly have always wanted me to be. But I feel her like she had some encouragement actually to be herself, to express herself. I'm seeing particularly mother coming up. Like her mother especially could have encouraged her, like, Greta, you have to be who you are and you have to speak freely about who you are. And by the way, this deity here is, I believe it's called Ishani, which is the female form of the Saturn deity in like Hindu mythology. So that Saturn deity is really like, it has a big energy of things related to, first of all, things that are black, things that are metal, things that are technology oriented. So there is that message here coming up about, we can say about carbon, about really about the things that affect climate change, you know, about computers and that kind of thing as well. So it's interesting. This card is kind of interesting. Coming up is very interesting with all these flowers and everything. It's kind of like protecting. I want to protect the environment. I want to take away that. I want to conquer. You see how the goddess is sitting on the black crow? It's like, I want to conquer that black energy. Yeah. I like this thing, with or without the fulfillment. So it's like, I feel her with or without the fulfillment of a particular desire. So it's like, I feel her thinking like, I have to do something. There are many causes in the world, and I have to do something. I have to act. It's this energy like, I don't necessarily care which real cause it is, but I know I have to act on something because I know that there are evil things going on in the world, and I have to speak out about it. So I won't get any fulfillment. See this word's fulfilled here. I won't get any real fulfillment until I act and until I do something. That shiny energy, that Saturn energy is like, I have to do it publicly, because Saturn energy is kind of like 10th house. And by the way, guys, she's a Capricorn as well. So there is that connection to the 10th house again there with the Saturn energy. So it's like, I have to do things publicly. What I do, I have to do it very publicly, is what's coming up in this card as well. So yeah, let's look at what's coming up next for the past of Greta. What do we need to know about Greta Thunberg's past? What do we really want to know? You know, about her motivation, about her upbringing, about her life, about the things that she's already been through. She's done quite a lot. She's written a book. She's been all over the world. She's spoken at the UN. So what do we need to know? Anybody jump out, please? Just take this one. Okay. Wow. Okay, so we've got number 4, which is Cancer energy, and 4th house energy, which is the house of the home. And then we have got that Virgo energy, which is the 6th house, and it's highly detailed capability energy. Interesting. And then we've got, so like with this, we've got moon energy and we've got Venus energy. These two things together, it makes a person quite sensitive, and it can make a person quite famous as well. And also with that moon, with that 4th house energy, it's kind of like gives that energy of not only homeland, but you can call it, in her case, like planet Earth. So let's see what it says here. Handcuffs, control, defenseless, target, handicapped, held back, prey, suppress, need to break free, detained by external forces, applying force, incapacitated, submit, feeling powerless. Oh my, Greta, I'm so sorry for you that you felt that way, you know? We know that she has been, you know, there was in the past and now as well, backlash against her. A lot of people making fun of her, a lot of people calling her names, a lot of people saying like she's, like we just heard Trump recently say she's an angry young woman who needs help or needs anger management. And her reply was, I think there need to be more angry women in the world, right? But with this, it's kind of this energy of like, you know, these climate protesters and protesters in general, they're always getting in trouble. What can I say? I feel her and I see her with this card coming up. Like, in a state where she was crying a lot, like crying in her mother's lap as well, like, Mom, why can't they see what they're doing to this world? I want things to be better. I want this world to be better, you know? It's this energy like, I just really want to break free. I want breakthroughs to be made with the work I'm doing. I want big, big things to change. I want big things to change, basically, you know? With that sixth house energy as well, there can be that thing about like, I feel there's a sickness, like there's a sickness in the world, and I want that sickness to, you know, stop. I want it to be cured. With the fourth kind of Cancer energy, it's like really caring about people and things. Yeah, interesting. So what now comes up in the tarot? What do we need to know about the past of Greta? What do we need to know about the past of Greta? Greta Thunberg. Okay, somebody jumped but went back. Okay, so what does the tarot want us to know about Greta's past? Two of Cups. Okay. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Some things are in reverse. Somebody has slipped up. Empress. Ooh. Empress card. What else? 10 of Swords. Five of Wands. Okay. So Five of Wands coming up here gives us, oh, Death card, but in reverse. So with the Death card in reverse and with the Five of Wands coming up there at the end, there is that energy like, I feel like with her past recent, like with her past activism career, it's like, I feel she was at a point where she said like, okay, I need to take a break, or I need to kind of tone it down, or I need to kind of stand back a little bit, because with the things coming up here, it's like Two of Cups in reverse, 10 of Pentacles in reverse. It's like she did a very big thing, and the impact was so much that it kind of turned her life upside down, turned her relationships upside down with the people around her, turned her, well, you can call it financial life upside down, or like the development of her life upside down in a way, the things that she was involved with, especially around 2018, I'm getting the message. But with the Empress card here, it's like it turned her life upside down. The whole thing that she did with the activism, protesting, with the whole how dare you thing. But with that, it made her a superstar, celebrity. Then with 10 of Swords, it's like, it was a huge, huge transformation of her life and everything about who she is. And it feels to me like I'm getting through the cards like, this was a big thing to handle, like too much to handle even. Like, whew, you know, it's a very big feeling like she's been called a kind of Joan of Arc of the climate change movement or whatever, or a general kind of Joan of Arc for activism. With the swords here, in the 10 of Swords and the white doves above, it's like there are a lot of heavy things that she was carrying in order for other people to be free. At least that was her feeling, you know? So it's like, I feel the things that she has done, especially like recent history, like back in 2018, 2019, it was like very big things. Things that like, so heavy to carry. I'm getting this really heavy feeling, like so heavy to carry it for a teenager, you know? With the Five of Wands and the Death coming up here, it's like, okay, Five of Wands, Wands is always about action, and then the number 5 is like about a cessation or a kind of stopping of something going on. So it's kind of like, you know, I have to take a take a break from this. Like, there is so much going on with this. It's overwhelming. And then with the death card in reverse, it's like, I feel like she may have taken a position less in the spotlight. Um, but with it being in reverse, it's like, I'm not finished, because death card means something's finishing. But with it in reverse, it's like, I'm actually not finished. And you see this death card in this deck, it's like, it's got this ring um, with, it's like a serpent eating its own tail with the stars inside. So it's like, let me step back on the outside, but keep these beautiful things, or these strong things that I'm feeling on the inside. And I'm not done, because it's in reverse here. The death is in reverse. So it's like, she always knew that she was going to keep going with her activism, keep doing new things with it. And she did. She has been, she hasn't been totally silent. She has been active enough, but not as prominent as she was when she got that big rise to stardom. Yeah. So let's now look at the present of Greta Thunberg, at least the recent present. We know about this whole mission with Gaza and about this relationship stuff. So let's see what is coming up for that. So it says, oh no, delusion. Oh no. Intention without surrender can be a fast path to delusion. So I feel like this is talking about that whole Gaza mission that she went on, which it seems like it wasn't that well planned out, because, I mean, if it was truly a mission for bringing relief aid items, as far as what the news is saying, like, there weren't really many relief aid items actually on that ship. It was more about solidarity, presence, and kind of social media people trying to express their solidarity. And I believe part of it was also to show, like, Greta, she made that big speech. If anyone has seen it, she made this kind of online speech. I believe it was like live streamed or something. She made this speech where she said that, I want to expose, what's going on here in Gaza. But you see what comes up, guys? Delusion card. Intention without surrender can be a fast path to delusion. So some intention is there. She wants to help for sure, but without surrender is giving me like, this is not the proper way to do it. So recently you can say, like, it's kind of like she's making mistakes, but maybe it's not a mistake at all, really, because what she truly wanted was for publicity to be brought to the situation over there. So in some way, by her getting deported from Israel and getting in trouble, I mean, it did bring attention to Gaza for sure. It also brought, but it mostly brought attention to herself. So attention to herself. So basically, like, how effective was it really, So let's see what comes up in the present moment. What else comes up in the present moment for her? Anybody want to jump out? Please just jump out. Got some. I feel it's this one. Okay, so what's coming up for Greta Thunberg in the present moment? Oh, again, number 4 energy. So she's back home, we know that, or she has been deported to go back home to Sweden. So it's number 4, which is home energy, Cancer energy, and then we've got, Cancer again, yeah, 4th house, so 4 and 4. So there's this home energy, and I get this energy with the woman looking at the dress in the mirror. It's like, oh, it's actually nice to be back home. Just let me enjoy my life. But also with the mirror, it's kind of like looking at myself. Yes, you see it here? Let's read it. So it says mirror, self-aware, seeing clearly, ego, facing issues, self-assessment, self-improvement, insecure, make comparisons, reflection, obsession, narcissistic, vain, self-love, self-appreciation. So that's quite interesting, because seeing as she just got in trouble, she just got deported from Israel a couple of weeks ago, and she made these statements about Israeli forces kidnapping her, etc. Like, I am feeling some self-reflection going on, and her questioning and looking at herself and be like, who am I really, and what do I want to do, and what do I want to do with my activism, my activism career as well. Where am I going in the future? I feel like this guy she is rumored to be dating may be part of that questioning, part of that process of self-discovery. But yeah, I feel like she's really in that phase of self-discovery, and I feel her and I see her, especially with this card coming up, like she's still a person who is in the spotlight, who's never going to go away, who's going to continue to be in the spotlight. But we're going to look at that more in the future cards. But I can tell you right now that what I see and what I feel is that she is someone who is going to be talked about around the world for decades to come, basically. I see her being a very old woman with like long white hair and being kind of a Jane Goodall type when she gets older, and really being an advocate for different things. I feel like she may actually take a lot of inspiration from Jane Goodall, and I'm hearing like saving the rainforest, save the rainforest, and the animals and the monkeys and this kind of thing coming up. So that may be something to look up for the future. But basically, yeah, like if we're talking about right now, present moment, it's kind of like she is thinking about what am I going to do with myself, and was I wrong also with this whole mission that I just went on, and what should I do differently in the future. And I'm hearing also, what should we do differently in the future for her group, or for a group of activists, or for people that she may be leading in this kind of activism and stuff. Like, what should we do differently in the future? So let's see what comes up in the cards in the tarot for Greta Thunberg's present moment. What comes up? Okay, we've got some. This one. Two of Swords. Yes. Conflicted. Mentally conflicted. What else? Hanged One. Yes. What else? Eight of Wands. Let's shuffle again. Okay. Knight of Wands. Three of Swords. One more. Hierophant. Oh, wow. That's interesting how the Hierophant comes up. Okay, so with the Hierophant coming up, it's like a message about, this is, I feel her, first of all, like right now she's looking up to and considering other famous activists and movers and shakers throughout history. I'm actually seeing Nelson Mandela, and I'm seeing also Martin Luther King Jr. Coming up as some kind of like influences for her, like how should things be done, and how should things be done differently with the activism, with the face of activism. It's really interesting how the Hierophant here comes up under the Death card, because it's kind of like I wasn't done before, and I'm not done now, and I want to see how did those famous people continue with the things that they believed in, and the causes that they were moving toward, And we see here, it's very interesting, the Two of Cups reversed and the Two of Swords coming up, And it's like that kind of energy opposing each other. Like, I was so sentimental in the past, my sentiments were so strong. And now it's like I need to be a sword bearer, not only a sword bearer, but the sword is about thought, the weapons that I have, I need to think about who I am as an activist. This is already coming up, but like who I am as an activist, and who I want to be in the future, and how I want to hold this strength up, I shouldn't be so soft anymore. I shouldn't be so sentimental. I have to think about what I'm doing, and tactfully make moves toward it, And with the Hanged One energy, I like how this is like not male or female, but Hanged One. It's like I had to change my perspective and change the things that I'm doing. So with the Eight of Wands here, it gives that eighth house energy of secrets and things, but Wands is all about moving toward something with action. You see, this Eight of Wands is all about moving towards something. You're like flying through the air, you know? It's like with Knight of Wands as well. Knight of Wands is all about taking action, moving towards something as well. So it's like I feel her like there are things that we're not seeing and that we won't necessarily see, but until later, I feel like she is now going through a transformation with her thought process, with the way that she wants to do things in the future. Um, with the Three of Swords here as well. You see, it's kind of like we have Two of Swords, and we have again those crossed two swords, and we have one sword dagger going through the middle. And it's like, you can call it like brain blast, something like this, because swords is all about the thoughts, you know? It's like those conflicting thoughts that I had, there are new ideas and there are new people coming in to change my paradigm. And when this Knight of Wands came up, I also got that energy of that relationship that she's rumored to be in right now. Like, potentially this guy may actually stand by her very closely, but I feel like she has a few close associates who she is kind of picking their brain, you know, and saying like, well, what do you think about this? You know, I feel her getting like second opinion, third opinions of the things that she's doing, of the projects and ideas she has for the future. So I feel her like she's going to gain more and more of these kind of wise associates or general associates, especially with the Hierophant energy here. So I feel her like she's really humbling herself a lot. Um, I feel like maybe she's always been a little bit humble, actually, and realizing that she can be wrong about things. But of course, we know that she's a loud personality. She's a loud personality, and there is a certain pride to that kind of personality, you know. But I feel like in the present moment, she's gaining more maturity, you can say. More maturity to realize that, yes, I can be wrong about things. That potentially with the thing I just did, I was actually wrong about it. And I want to help, but what's the best way for me to do that, you know? So it's like, I see this energy of like looking through history books and stuff. Yeah. So let's look at her future. Something came up here. Let's look at her future. What comes up here for Greta Thunberg's future? Oh, wow. Outrageous openness. Dear love, it says, Dear love, open me to your will, release me from my attachments, surprise and delight me with your plan. You know what's needed, and I'm open to receive. It's interesting that it says dear love because I get that feeling like, and I did research it a bit as well, that Greta, she's not like a particularly religious person. Um, and I feel her like, you know, she's a typical kind of Swede, you know, with a, I guess you can call it like ethnically Christian background, but here it says, you know, dear love, open me to your will. And I see her actually as a person who is like a little bit of a nature worshiper, you know. We see this coming up in the card here with the tropical kind of energy, the flowers, the birds and stuff. And it's like, I really have this great appreciation for nature. And I feel like in the future, we're going to see her opening up about that a lot more. And I feel and I see her also in the future supporting traditional or more indigenous communities as well, potentially. And she may want to do some activism for that. I know in the past she has spoken out about how people in poorer countries, like they call it the global south, like poorer countries are going to be the most affected by climate change. And those countries are often much hotter, you know. So there's this tropical energy coming up here. So outrageous openness, I mean, I think it speaks for itself, but definitely we are going to see her throughout the years being this kind of figure, like, I feel again this energy of Jane Goodall coming up, but I'm also seeing David Suzuki, if any of you know about him. But oh, I get a message right now about starting her own foundation. If she doesn't have a foundation already, I feel like she could be starting that in the future. She may already have it. I might be wrong, guys. You can tell me in the comments if she already has a foundation, but I feel like she may even have more than one foundation. And I feel like she's going to be known as one of the greatest or most powerful, most prominent activists, climate activists, nature activists of the 21st century. And I actually see her in the future, and I'm getting the message about the year like 2050. Or actually, I'm getting the message about the year 2035 as well. That I feel like she's going to speak out about certain things that are happening and tell you, like, I warned you. Like, there's going to be some kind of disasters, I feel, happening. And she's going to speak out and she's going to say, I warned you about this. I warned you about these things, that if we don't stop now, these things are going to happen to the earth, you know? I get the words climate cult coming up, climate cult. She may turn out to be a bit of like a climate change cult leader, if she's not already, you know. But I feel her really being a leader of thought in that sense, with that whole climate thing, you know. So let's see what else comes up. This is the card. What else comes up for Greta Thunberg's future? Ooh, Pioneer. Oh, I love it. Okay, so number 2 is that Taurus energy. And then we have got Leo with that bold 5 energy. So it's Taurus and with Leo, and it's like, I feel her becoming more and more practical actually in the future, and more famous actually. Now, the whole world already pretty much knows her name, but I feel like she's going to become even more prominent, kind of like a, what's his name, David Attenborough, British philanthropist or whatever. Like, I feel like she's going to be quite prominent, and she may, I'm getting the message right now, she may have her own TV show or TV series or documentaries, or I'm seeing something with film going on, that she may be releasing documentaries or films like that. We see Pioneer here. It says boldness, destination or bust, the cutting edge, long journey, trailblaze, true grit, challenge, navigating uncharted territory, resourceful, team, got your 6, unflappable courage. I don't know what that is, got your 6. But basically, I feel like she's going to be organizing some things which are very big. And I see her in the future as well, organizing things for youth, like youth groups related to climate change, youth groups related to climate activism. And also, I'm seeing something about cleaning up beaches, I'm seeing, or something like that. It's something to look out for in the future. But I feel like within the next 2 years, it's now 2025, within the next 2 years, we're going to see her again rising and doing more prominent things. And I feel her like she could be going to, I'm seeing actually India, or maybe even Sri Lanka, but I'm saying like South India or something like that. We may see it in the future, but I feel there's there could be something going on there, and she will want to speak up about it. I don't know. Could be something to do with pollution, with ocean, or something. I'm seeing her going to some kind of places in the southern hemisphere specifically, and speaking to people there and organizing some things there, or being a face of something going on there. I'm also seeing Australia coming up, New Zealand as well. So she could be going in that area. I feel her in the southern hemisphere for whatever reason. She may be going over there sometime more often. But definitely her paradigm is changing. So let's see anyway what else comes up in the cards here. Okay, so what do we need to know about Greta Thunberg's future in the tarot? 2 of Wands, yes, for sure. 2 of Wands. What else? Seven of Swords. Okay. Ten of Cups. That's great. I'm happy for her. Ten of Cups. What else? Ace of Pentacles. Let's ask about her relationships as well, please. Three of Wands. Is she going to get married? Is a question on my mind. Is she going to be married? Seven of Pentacles. Interesting. So with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse here, with me asking that question, is she going to get married? I feel like the answer is kind of both yes and no. Like, I feel her like she will get married, I feel, with the Seven coming up here. Seven is all about partnership. But with the reverse, it's kind of like my activism always comes first. My work is always going to come first, and nothing can compromise that. So if she has a marriage, there may be something like a kind of like a lot of time spent away from home, or like I have to do my activism all the time, all over the world. So I feel like she can actually get married around the age of 25, actually. So that's within the next 3 years. But I want to just read these cards now that came up. So with Two of Wands, in the original Two of Wands in the Rider Tarot, there's the figure with the world and the two staffs in hand. And the Two of Wands card is always about, you know, those actions that you're going to take in the future, moving forward. You know, you are going to continue to move forward with the thing that you're doing. So Greta is going to continue to move forward with the thing that she's doing, and she is going to be quite successful with it because of that whole globe in the hands energy, which is not in this Two of Wands, it's in the Rider deck. But yeah, it's like she has a good, strong future toward her in the future. And with the Seven of Swords here, it does seem to me that some kind of partnership or like even a marriage would be very helpful to her, actually, to supporting her activism that she does. You see there's two swords here, and the Seven energy is also about partnership and also marriage partnership, because the seventh house in astrology is all about partnership. But yeah, it's like giving me that energy of like two of us, the two of us doing it together, strong together. Ten of Cups, I get that energy like she's going to be very actually happy when she first gets together with someone, if it is this Chris person or not. But she's going to feel like, wow, this is amazing to be in love. I feel like she's going to marry someone she's really in love with. She's going to feel like this person is really into her causes with her. And with the Ace of Pentacles, you know, I feel, and you see these two lines like intertwining with this Ace of Pentacles. It's like, yes, they are going to support each other very much. Yeah. With Three of Wands, now, I don't know why, I feel like Greta, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Disclaimer, these readings for entertainment only. I could be wrong that I feel like she may be into child-free movement. So with Three of Wands here, I see her kind of like with her marriage or with her partnership coming up in the future. I feel like something she could be contemplating is like, should I or should I not have a child? Because it's not good. Actually, I'm hearing the words, it's not good for the environment to have a child. So it's like, I feel she may be really questioning that, and I feel like she may eventually decide not to have any children, you know. Also with the pomegranate in reverse energy coming up here, pomegranate can actually be seen as a kind of symbol of fertility, especially women's fertility. Like it can be a metaphorical fruit related to like the ovum, you know, to the ovary of a woman, because of all the small seeds inside and the shape and everything. With it in reverse here, there is that energy like it's not happening, you know, the fertilization, you know, the pregnancy, like it's not coming to be like I don't want it to be. I get that energy coming up from these two cards here. But with the Three of Wands coming up here as well, you see there's a ship here, and looking out and longing and just feeling like, what do I want for the rest of my life? Because I feel her in the next few years, she's going to be at a crossroads of her life thinking like, what do I actually want? What do I actually want to do? Do I want to have that motherhood journey, or do I want to have this influential personality journey in my life, you know? And how would having a child or children take away from that? So I feel here with this energy, Three of Wands, it's like with the boat here and the ship and the ocean, it's like I feel her looking more toward the outer world rather than the home world, you know, rather than the motherhood world. And thinking about how I have to make a difference in this vast ocean of the world, of the whole of humanity, you know, the ocean of humanity. There's that energy coming up. Yeah, so I feel like she's going to be quite soon at a very big kind of crossroads in her life, which many young women deal with, which is, you know, do I want to become a mother, or do I want to stay how I am? Oh, wow. We've got some cards coming up here. Let me just shuffle. I really feel like it's this card actually coming up. So what is our final thing that the viewers need to know, that fans or detesters or anybody needs to know about Greta? What do we need to know? So it's number 3. Okay. And Pisces. And I feel like this is speaking about present moment. Yeah, it says broken heart, you see? Heartbreak, interference, sorrow, grief, funk, sadness, mourning, distress, letdown, gloomy, hopelessness, regret, crisis, unhappy, hurt, bitter, devastated, emotional pain. So I feel strongly what's coming up in this card here is about Greta's present moment, like really present moment. You have to know that she's really not happy about what happened recently, is what comes up. With that 3 energy, it's like her intelligence, and the Pisces is like deep emotions and the intuitive side, and also about something being broken, you can say. It's like kind of 12th house astrological energy. But basically, I feel like she is really not happy about getting deported, actually, back to Sweden. And interference is a big word coming up here. Interference. Like, I'm so sad this didn't work out. I feel like she cried. I feel like she's crying. But she's also by Trump recently, she's been called an angry young woman. She needs anger management, is what Trump said. It's kind of like funny, ridiculous, but basically, like, I feel her just with that whole present moment energy, like, I have to change my paradigm. I have to change the way I do things, and it's not easy to admit it, you know? It's not easy to admit when you have to change, when someone has to change. So, yeah, guys, that's all. If you like this reading today, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Subscribe, friends. And if you are interested to know more about anything, celebrities, world events, politics, politicians, what have you, please comment it down below, because I do want to hear from you. And that's all. Till next time, stay in love, stay in the light. Love you all. Bye.